Hello, it's Jane here from Jane's Gems. Today I've got 2 bags from our local auction house. These 2 bags cost me in total £15. That's a £12 bid and £3 auctioneer's commission. I'm quite sure that these bags have come from another dealer, so I'm not expecting any gold or silver, although that would be lovely. What I am expecting is a mixture of costume jewellery, some of which may be broken, but I'm hoping to find pieces in here that I can upcycle, repair, repurpose, or even sell as it is. So let's get into them. Right, let's get into them. Shall we do the small one first? And see what's in here. Runaway bead. Let's see what we've got. A spoon. This is a EPNS spoon. Well, not quite my cup of tea. Ah, some Lavissa earrings that are broken. That was a pretty earring, wasn't it? Not sure what we can do with a single earring. Sometimes I bend the wire over and make a loop and then use them as a pendant. So I might have a look and see if I can do that with that one. I'll have a little look at that later. That bead is really pretty. We'll see if I can use that. What is this? This is heavy. It feels like glass beads, which are rather pretty. And I can tell you immediately why this is in here. I don't know if you can see, but the clasp is covered in rust. On both ends, they're both covered in rust. These parts are covered in rust, but the beads are lovely. We can definitely make, you hear them? Definitely make something out of those. Those can be all reused. So that's a nice one. And I've got a necklace here. It's a bit of a tangle. It's on a cord. It's on a cord which is a little bit frayed and ratty. Let's have a little look. Looks like it's got all of its parts. So we could take that off of its cord and make that into something else. Maybe just pop it onto a chain. That would be a nice upcycle. So far so good. And we've got missing a stone there. Clamper bangle. Spring still good. Have a little look. Missing a rhinestone there. Missing a few rhinestones. But it's quite a little sparkler. Might have a look at... by the look of it, it doesn't matter what colour stone I got. So I could have a look at see if I can find a stone that's the right shape and colour for that. Another one for the upcycling pile. Brass ring. I wonder if that's off a curtain. And this corded thing, well, the cord is horrible. I don't know if you can see, but it's grey. It probably started life as a cream colour. Yuck. It's got some nice dangles on it. The silver plate's worn off of that, and that, and that. Oh, what a shame. Silver plate's gone off of those. So I think we'll just be cutting, yeah, and the silver plate's gone off of some of these unusual shaped beads as well. So I think we'll just be cutting, oh, and that's gone as well. There's not really much to be saved out of that one. A little bangle. with some discs on them. These should have had that space there, and that space there should have had a disc on, so it's missing 2 of its discs. And I think we'll see if we can put something on that in their place. Try and find something that's a sympathetic match. Another one for the upcycling pile to have a look at. It's part of a broken ring. I don't think that can be saved. That's part of one of the Indian Bollywood style earrings. A lot of pearls missing on that. That might be one that we can just harvest the small pearls out of. And here we have a pair. So we'll get that hook out of there. Of these Bollywood style earrings. I'll have a look at these 2 components here and maybe recycle those onto another project. And they look like they've got all their sparkles. So I'll pick those bits out of there. And this is a vintage necklace. Oh, that's pretty. Let's just take my glasses off. It's missing some of its pink beads. It's missing some of its pink beads and some of its dangles as well. But it might be possible. Yeah, we should be able to take some of these links out, steal the beads off of them, and remake it. Well, that's one to have a look at upcycling. That looks like a vintage necklace as well. That was an earring. I think I'll be harvesting the stones out of that. A piece of ratty cord with a plastic bead on. Oh, that's part of that bracelet that was missing 2 charms. So that can go back on. That's a seed bead earring. And a front of an earring. That looks like a part of a valve. Don't know what that's doing in here. This vintage brooch, all the stones in it are dead. They've all lost their sparkle. That's seen better days. No maker's name on that, so we won't try and save that. This bracelet, oh, has got a maker's name on it, I think. Very hard to see because of all the tarnish around here. Very hard to see. It's very tarnished. You can see the coppers come through under the plate. That's a little pretty little connector. This is a broken, looks like faux marker seat necklace. It's probably complete, but connectors are broken, so we'll have to salvage what parts we can from that and remake it into something else. Interesting part. That's a V, I think it's a V pendant, missing some rhinestones. It's got some scratching to the metal, so not worth restoring that. Little ring, quite pretty. Quite pretty. Reasonable size. Probably sold as it is. Another clamper bangle, lots of stones missing. Let's see who it's. No maker's name. Yeah, lots of stones missing, so I think we'll just have the rhinestones out of that. Part of a watch strap. Looks like it was quite a nice watch strap. And take that out. Bit of chain. Always useful chains. Always getting pendants without them, so always keep the chains. That one could be reused. This is a dangle with a hook on the end. Quite a nice brass flower at the bottom. Reuse the beads from that. And we've got a lot of this bit of cotton, just needs to let go. This is a antique bronze chain. Again, that can go in the chain stash. I always find these bags are good for my chain stash. Scissors. This is just some thread that somehow got involved. That's a little bit of extension chain, don't know where that's from. And this little pendant, the gold's worn off, and there's quite a lot of copper showing where it's worn against the bail there. So I think we'll just have the chain from this one for my stash. That's another one to go away. There we go, another chain for my stash. And we've got a little baggie. This is a glasses chain. Plastic beads. Yeah, little plastic bead glasses chain. There we go. That can probably be sold as is. I'll put it back in the packet, and it saves it getting tangled up with other things. Right, that's bag one. Let's get bag two out. Right, there we go, bag two. Get open and see what this one will bring us. I can see lots of bangles in here already. Always find bangles are really useful for just readjusting you there. Really useful when I make sun catchers. Right, let's have a little look. This was probably a necklace at one point, and a lot of the stones have gone, and there's a lot of glue and wear to the chains. Yeah, these little chains have lost their silver plate, and these are plastic beads, so I think that one's beyond saving. I've got a lot of cotton in here. Those pearls are completely worn away. They've lost their luster completely. Some beads. Maybe do something with those. Could see them as parts on a bracelet. So put them in the upcycling pile. We have lots and lots of bangles. These are fairly cheap Indian style bangles. These ones are really tiny. I don't know if you can see how tiny they are. Children's bangles. But as I say, sometimes I use these in sun catchers and wind chimes. It'll be very useful. So I shall add some of these to my stash and make up little lots to sell on as they are. So, always useful. Well, it's an interesting keyring. It's got that building looks familiar. Oh, it's got a phone number on the back. All right, we'll turn that one over. Interesting. I think I'll have to look that one up and see where that's from. I imagine it's a tourist piece. And we've got some faux pearls made to look like real pearls. It's a very, very small necklace. We'll see what size that actually is. That one could possibly be cut up. Oh, we've got a hair slide that probably originally said anxiety, but is missing an E. Yeah, and those are glued on letters, so not going to be able to get those off. We've got some, away you come. We've got some pearls that they are glass, but I don't know if you can see, the coating has worn off, so unfortunately they can't be reused. And a leather fat face bracelet that can probably be sold just as it is. Let's see if there's any market for fat face bracelets. More bangles, more bangles. That, again, losing its plating. Was gold plated originally, but that's just coming off now. So, not really. And this, very pretty on fabric with, might be able to salvage some of the rhinestones from that. Another bangle, another bangle, another bangle. Oh, so tiny. That's sweet. I can't imagine having a small enough wrist to ever wear that. This was a bracelet, but the connectors have all gone and we've lost some of the coating on that. That's a bit sad. This probably was part of a necklace. Lovely aqua blue stones on it. It's got connectors either side, so you could just add a piece of chain and it could be a necklace again. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll definitely get that one sorted out. A vintage pearly necklace. Some of the beads have lost their coating. Yeah, a lot of the beads have lost their coating. It's completely peeling away, which is such a shame. Such a shame. Bangle. Now, why have you got a chain attached? That is way too big to be a bracelet, and it's got some chain attached. I'm not sure what that is. If you know, please tell me in the comments why anyone would have made that. It's got a hole there, so there's probably something in there as well. I don't know if it was some sort of, all I can think is it's cuff for the upper arm. Oh, well, if you know, let me know in the comments. If not, I'll just end up salvaging the chain off of that. Here we have a small, it was originally gold plated. You can see all the brass has come through. Little ring, quite a nice little ring. That's glass or gemstone in there. It's quite a nice little ring. We've got a shooting star brooch, which no maker's name. Someone's already replaced a stone there. Unfortunately, I think that was too far gone. And part of a bracelet. Links from part of a bracelet. Yeah, that would have been a very pretty bracelet. We might be able to reuse some of those links. I'll have a little think about that. Sometimes you can match up 3 or 4 bracelets that have lost their parts and make them all together. That's a plastic bead bracelet for cutting up. Oh, a sparkly thing. A sparkly thing. Well, I wonder what that was off of. Okay, another one. If you know, let me know. Maybe it was off some sort of hairband, although there's no clip. But all the sparkles are there. That's rather pretty. I'll have to think if I can do something with that. This was part of a necklace, undoubtedly. I see how all the colour has worn off from the back, but it's very... The beads are very pretty. Very pretty indeed. And they could be... They could be rethreaded onto something. Not quite sure how. That's one to think about, because these have all got holes in the end. So they could be rethreaded and made into something, but they actually sit at an angle. So obviously doesn't... Yeah. That's one to have a think about. I think I could make something out of that. These pearls, again, have lost their coating. They're peeling. But if this clasp, does this clasp work? It's quite a nice vintage clasp. That is a nice vintage clasp, so I'll have the clasp off of that. This is a stretchy rhinestone bracelet. I can't see any parts missing from that. So maybe that's something I could sell as is. Another bangle, another bangle, another bangle. Part of something. Button. Oh, very weird. Very weird what's in there. Very weird. But that is a very sparkly... You see? I should think it was originally a brooch, but I can't... That's very sparkly. Let's see if we can use that somehow. Oh, look at the size of that bangle. Really tiny. That's so sweet. Sorry, just joggled the camera there. This is a bit of chain. Again, it's lost a lot of its plating. A lot of copper showing through. That's a handmade earring out of little seed beads. That must have taken forever. Let's hope that's got a friend. Peacock. Look at that. There's a stone missing there, but I'm sure we could do something with that. I'm sure we could find something to fit in that space. That is really pretty. Really pretty. It lost some of its connectors, but definitely I will have a go at upcycling that. I think that's stunning. Oh, there's a little... Are you a unicorn? Look, a little winged horse, pink winged horse. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, we'll have to definitely reuse that. Yeah, that will go into a children's bracelet, I'm sure. Oh, it's another... Oh, that's a huge earring. That's a huge earring. And, oh, I don't know if you can see it. It's green. Yuck. A seed bead bracelet in silver and gold. I think I saw some more like that, so maybe we can make a little stack of those. Children's beads. These can definitely be cut up. and I occasionally do children's workshops where I teach them bracelet making. So these little teddy bear charm and a little happy face charm, sun happy face. These can definitely be cut up and used in the children's workshops. Oh, unfortunately, these disco balls, yeah, are fixed onto the string. They're glued on, so there is no way of getting them off to reuse them. However, no, that's too short. I'm sure that's too short to actually be a necklace. Another one I can't see that we can reuse. This is, oh, it's a magnetic. It's a Willis Judd. Well, that's a name to look up. It's a Willis Judd. I think that needs reforming. That'll need bashing back into shape. Interesting though. Well, look up who Willis Judd is. Another sweet little bangle. This is a antique bronze bracelet with plasticky beads. It's quite sweet. I'll have those beads off of there. Do something with that. Oh my goodness. That appears to be a yellow dragon. He's rather cute. Rather cute. With a sweet little fella. I'm not sure if I can do anything with him, but another one to think about. Tiny weeny bangles. Oh, a little lampwork bead. That can definitely be used for something. Bit more of that bracelet we saw earlier. Let's see how many more panels we get for that. Another bead. Usable by age 13 and up. So a brand new adjustable ring. We're missing its cabochon. We'll see if that's in the bag. And another ring that has completely lost its plating. A bracelet that we can cut up and recycle the beads. Another bangle. This 10 karat gold filled, it says on there. Well, I don't like to disbelieve things, but can you see all of the copper coming through there? If that was gold plated once, it's had a very hard life. Look at all the copper. Yep, that's completely worn away. It's got a number 5 on it and a number 6. Yeah, that chain has worn out as well. Such a shame. Plastic beads. Another copper bangle. Very thin and it's broken. Glasses chain. That can go in my stash of chain. And a faux pearl, probably necklace at some point in its life. Broken, but we can upcycle the chain and the pearls from that. Another bangle, some completely grey faux pearls. Not sure what that is. A little heart pendant. It's got a little star on it as well. What does that say? You can see it's got some writing on there. It says Luna Norte. N-O-R-T-E. Luna Norte. Well, we shall look up who Luna Norte is. That can be used as a bit of extension chain. Now these are faux pearls, and again they've lost their colouring. A bit of plastic. Oh, an eagle. Looks quite sweet. And a single earring. This is very badly pitted. Very badly pitted, not really. And a gold coloured earring. Yeah, the post is very yuck. You'd never want to put that in your ear. A sweet little ring, got all its stones. Sweet little ring. Another part of a watch. More bangles. Part of a keychain that can be reused. A random bead. Some white seed beads. They feel like they're glass. They're quite heavy, so can be reused those. And another bead, we can reuse that. And more bangles. I have another, what looks like a letter V with a tassel. Might be able to take some of the rhinestones out of that. Quite nice to have some large ones. That's a piece of stone. Very nice too. I like the marbling on that. Definitely think that we could try wire wrapping that. It's got some nice, interesting veining in it. Yep, we could try wire wrapping that. More bangles. Let's see. Some of the, oh, we've had part of that. We can have a look at making that into something. It's a dragon. Not sure what he's off of, but I quite like him. Let's see if we could glue him onto something. This is a, oh, these are glass or stones. It's got some weight on it. And these have got Disney charms on it. They're written Disney on the back of them. So, oh, sweet. Sweet Disney china. That's, oh, it's one of the princesses, isn't it? Belle or somebody. Yep. That could be reused in the children's workshops. More bangles. A broken Creole style earring, again with the plating coming through. And a loom band bracelet. We'll have the rhinestones out of that. Bangle. Smile. A bangle that says smile. Yeah, plating's gone off of that. Another one to cut up for the children's workshops. That was obviously a pin badge once upon a time. It says Y. Oh, the plating's gone off of that. And off of that. Some glass crackle beads. They're rather pretty. We'll definitely reuse those. Piece of broken metal. Again. Oh, this was a bracelet, but all the plating's worn off. It's all coppery colour. Some random beads, a key, more random beads, a very fine chain, very fine. For a bracelet or an anklet, we can mend that, and that can be a bracelet or an anklet again. A ring, again the plating's worn off. Once the plating's gone, it's very hard to reuse any of the parts. I don't replate things and never... Oh, pom-pom. A velvet choker with a pom-pom. Definitely recycle the choker part. That's a plastic brooch. Plastic bead, plastic bead, plastic bead, plastic bead. Oh, that's another one of those earrings. All the metalwork's really pitted. Another plastic bead. They can go just for the children's workshops. That says somebody's name, so it won't show you that. That can go in the children's workshops, be cut up. A letter E keyring. Actually, the E's fine, and that part's fine, and the metal work has worn off this part, so I can just replace that, and that could be a keyring again. These are glass beads on here, so that can be cut up and reused. A shoe, random. More bangles. A bracelet. Some of the parts are okay, those are little crystals, they're fine. And some of the parts are worn out, so we just cut that out and reuse what we can. That's a odd shape. A very odd shape. Not sure what we can do with that. I wonder if it's... Do you think it was a... It could have been a ring, maybe? I don't know. Don't know what that was. Interesting. I was thinking it could have been a ring, but it doesn't really sit on your finger very well. Not sure about that. I'll have a think about that and how I could reuse it. It's a plastic bead. That's a very... It would have been a very pretty little pendant, but the metal, the plating's worn off again, so we'll harvest the rhinestones out of that. A CC. A CC. So a wooden bracelet. Lots of bits to be harvested. This. Well, that makes a nice sound, doesn't it? Makes a very nice sound. Not sure what we could do with that, but that's bright and colourful. Have a think about that. I quite like the jangles to use in wind chimes, so I'm sure I can do something with that. Another bracelet, we might be able to do something with that. That's a vintage bracelet. Most of the... it's got a chunk out of it just there. You see it's got a piece of metal missing. And we'll probably harvest the rhinestones out of that as well. More of... That's missing its stone. We've got several other parts like this. I think we could put them all together and make something out of those. More bangles. And more bangles. Bead cap. These odd pieces just end up in my stash. Oh, some of these beads have completely gone. So this is one. Yeah, some of the beads in here have completely gone. So that'll be one to be cut up. Some more chain. A whistle. This is a Sondico made in India. We shall look that up. That's a tree of life with sparkles around it. I'll have that off there. And another children's bracelet with a name on it, so we'll cut that up and you use the beads out of that. Well, that's a pretty bead. I've got two big pink beads. Might have more big pink beads. That was an earring, but that's very worn. That's a ring blank. Oh, here we have part of a necklace. Good. Try and work out if there's any way of reusing these parts or some of the rhinestones. Have a little think about that one. Oh, this was plaited, wasn't it? This was plaited all the way down, and it was a bracelet. And it was just put in that end with loads of glue that's given up the ghost. You can see the old glue here that's given up the ghost. We could have a little look and see if I can replat that and glue it back together. Plastic bangle, plastic bead, a religious wooden, I don't know, you just use these as prayer beads. Some of them have lost the pictures on them, but there'll be enough there that they could be made into a bracelet. Yep, we can do something with those. One pink earring, see if we get another pink earring. A little, that could be a pendant or a charm. Little cherries, that'll be reused. Another ring, yin and yang, completely worn. Plastic bead. A bracelet with, oh, elastic's given up. We can definitely have lots of heart charms. Take the charms off of there and the beads and reuse those. Those can go in the kiddies lot. This broken brooch. Very pretty. That's different, isn't it? Few stones missing. Have a little look, see if that can be remade. Single earring, so we get a match to that. Another bead. These are vintage beads, but again they've lost their coating, they're discoloured. Copper bangle, quite a sweet one. I might be able to solve that as it, actually I think it's brass, as it is. That's a bead. It's pretty dented though. Another single earring, bead. That, tell me if I'm wrong, but that looks like a piece of lapis lazuli. Few chips to it. I wonder if that could be wire wrapped, that it wouldn't notice. Have a think about that. Another ring. The rhinestones in that are dead. A London pin badge. And part of a necklace, again discoloured. That's the gold plate has worn off that one as well. And an earring that the plating's gone off of. Another bead. Oh, I like that clasp. Let's hope that that's got another part. That's nice. These are vintage beads and they're quite... Oh yes, it has. So I can definitely reuse the clasp. I'll have a look. Some of the beads are a bit discoloured and some of them might be able to be reused. Nice little sparkly bead. Plastic bead, plastic bead. Oh, a feather. Some rhinestones. This was a vintage bracelet, very lightweight. They call that I think they call it Luxor steel. Actually, that's quite a nice bracelet, isn't it? What's the clasp like? What do you think? I actually think that's quite nice. I think that's one to sell as it is. And we've got some chain. We've got some pink rhinestones that could be harvested. And a few bits of chain there that could probably be harvested. Oh, some more bangles. That is completely broken. More bangles. Another bead. This one's not bent out of shape. That could probably be reused on something. A sparkly, I don't know what. Lots of parts missing on that. They're glass pearls, so we'll upcycle those. A nice little glass lampwork bead there. We'll use that. An earring with pom-poms on. A bangle. Those are going to be very hard to match up. Plastic bead. Another bangle. I don't know what was that part of a bracelet, do you think? I might be able to reuse some of these parts in something. I'll keep that aside. Another bracelet, single earring, plastic beads. This was, not sure what that is. Okay, another one. If you know what it is, let me know. Not sure. Another ring with all the plating worn off. Plastic beads. And a bracelet. And what do we have here? The chain isn't too bad on that. We could probably reuse some of that chain in other projects. It's quite a nice heavyweight chain. These are just plastic. So we could take those off. A very look, there's more of this bracelet. That can definitely be remade into lots of jump rings that I'll take, but that can be remade into another bracelet quite easily. I'm sure I've seen enough parts of that. And this. We've had enough parts of this that I know that I could remake that into some sort of either a necklace or a bracelet. We've had the other earring of that, but that's broken. Bangles. That earring's discoloured. Another copper bangle that needs bashing back into shape. And a faux turquoise bead. We'll reuse that. Part of a bracelet probably. And part of a bracelet. Plastic beads. Just picking out some plastic beads here. Let's see what else we've got. That's a very discoloured chain. I lost its plating. Such a shame that so many bits and pieces have lost their plating. that was a was a bracelet, but it's doesn't quite clip back together anymore, and it's lost some of its black colouring. So I think we'll have these beads off of here. They feel quite heavy. Not sure if they're stone, but we'll definitely have the beads off of that. Oh, those beads are cloth and they're filthy. That was a big brooch once upon a time. It's quite a nice big brooch. Maybe that can be something to be done with that. More. And a ring. Very unusual ring. For a very small finger. Somebody might like it. Plastic beads, plastic beads, plastic beads, plastic beads. Well, that's a nice piece of enamel work. That could be used as a charm or a pendant. That's definitely a gemstone. It's heavy. That could be wire wrapped. These are fused onto the cord, which means you can't take them off and use them for anything. Again, that plating's gone from that. I might take the central rhinestone out of there and use it in my stash. And more bits that the colouring's gone. Bangles, bangles. Oh, that's a sweet little chain. That'll go in my stash. You see they're in the shape of little love hearts. It's a very sweet little chain. Not longer, it was obviously part of a necklace, not long enough to be that now, but we'll reuse that. I've got more plastic beads and bits and bobs. Some of these can be reused in the children's workshops. I'm getting to the last of it now. More Disney charms. And quite nice beads. Those can go into the children's workshops. It's a very thin bird pendant. Oh, that's, I think, a pope. And that's a religious. It's like a resin or something, and it's cracked and gone yellow. Bit of a shame that. Not quite the way we'd like it. Earring, that's plastic. A ring with lots of stones missing. Bit of a watch strap. Plastic beads for the children's workshops. Another ring with lots of wear. Oh, that was a sign of the zodiac once, but very worn. We had another one like this with bits of tape and stuff on them, didn't we? Very peculiar. Looks like candle wax on that. I'm pretty sure it is candle wax on that. If I find the other one, I might be able to do something with those. Not sure what. Again, rhinestones, but the copper's all worn off. Some of those are dead rhinestones. Yeah, plating's all gone. So we just salvage what we can. Some nice little, these are little grass crystals in a burgundy colour, burgundy sort of purpley colour. They're sweet. We'll definitely reuse those. Lee Valley Velo Park medal. Interesting. More little bangles. A bracelet that said Rosie. We'll just have the beads off of that. A little religious. It's missing. Crystal. Yeah, plating's worn off of that. Plastic bead. A single earring. Tie clip. lots of wear to the metal. I was going to say a chap on a horse, but he's very worn as well, and the chain's worn. A little tiger's eye, little brass tiger's eye ring. That's quite sweet. So we can resell that one as it is. More pearls that are discoloured. I think that was part of a belt buckle, but it's very worn again. That ring is scratched and worn. 4-leaf clover. Four-leaf clover. Missing a few stones. Some of the stones are dead. Oh, it's a little enamelled ring again. Plating's worn off. Little heart, that can just go in the children's workshops. Some pretty blue crystals. They'll definitely get reused. Juncta in uno tria. Well, not sure what that is at all. Another bead cap. Another chain. That's, oh, look at that. Completely worn away. So unfortunately there's quite a bit in this bag that is going to end up, well, the chains will end up in the recycling. Quite a lot of metal that here really cannot be reused. Oh, it's got a maker's name on it, but again, worn. Very worn. I'll check the maker, but you know, you don't expect it to be a good brand. It says Dierebergica. Sorry about my pronunciation, but I don't expect a good maker to be that's plastic bead. Pair of pink hoops. Oh, they've got some wear to them. Plastic beads. Plastic, 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 plastic. Oh, it's not plastic. It's a gemstone of some sort. More plastic beads. I can just go in my bag of beads for the children. Plastic beads. Little bit of stretchy rhinestone. Another very, very worn metal ring. That's part of that bracelet. It's good. That's a very... Oh, it says it's Versace. Well, I don't believe that for a second. It's completely worn out. I don't think Versace would have the copper showing underneath it. That was a bit of tiger's eye. Very chipped bit of tiger's eye. Right, have we got anything else here? Some chain with a little evil eye. That can be reused. That looks a nice little bit of chain there. That was on a bracelet, but that's a nice little bit of chain. Wear to the clasp. But we'll have that bit of chain, we'll recycle that. Little, is that Canada with the maple leaf on the flag? Don't know. More little plasticky bits. Yep, not much more we can upcycle in this little lot. Andrea. There you go, there's a little bracelet for an Andrea. Of course, the problem is finding an Andrea. a little ring. Oh, that's a little frog. He's lost a lot of stones, but he would have been cute. So many broken bits. So many broken bits. But quite a lot to put in the children's workshops. Oh, a stethoscope. Quite a lot to put in the children's workshops for bracelet making. And a few bits that we can upcycle and make into new jewellery. So I'm sure we'll get our £15 worth back, and obviously a lot of these bracelets will become parts of wind chimes and sun catchers. So I do hope you've enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you want to see my upcycles from some of these bits, do follow along with my shorts. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.